All right, what is going on and how y'all doing out there? Today it is January the 4th, 2022. And normally around this time we start the playoffs, but this year, obviously the extra game coming on this year, we have a week 18. And in week 18, we play nobody but our hated rivals, the New Orleans Saints. And while the game means nothing to us from a playoff standpoint, it does mean something from a standpoint of, yeah, we got to beat the Saints. And I know it's been a lot of talk now that the season is officially over, as far as we're concerned, about who we should get and all that good stuff. And we'll still have time for that. We'll still address certain questions like that. But I just wanted to get back to the core of things, man. Like this rivalry, that like I this should be one of those games that we look forward to. I think back to 2016 when New Orleans had zero to lose. They were out of the playoff picture, uh, pretty much rebuilding that year. Uh, 2016, our Super Bowl year, and we had one game to clinch the number two position in the NFC standing so we could get a bye. Back then, the number two position got a bye. But this time, the tables are turned a little bit. The New Orleans Saints must win in order for them to get in the playoffs. And what better team would they look forward to beating than our beloved Atlanta Falcons in this upcoming game? A note for that game, just in case you all haven't heard, I'm pretty sure you have. The game has been switched to 425. So the game is going to start later this Sunday for those of you going down to the Dome. It's going to start 425, not 1 p.m. They have switched it to 425. They moved the Raiders and Chargers game, since that's a play-in game. They moved that particular game to the 8:20 slot on NBC, and now the Falcons are going to start late, which is great for me because it gives me an opportunity get out of service, change up, and do what we got to do. But that's just good stuff. Good stuff. Last game of the year, 425 start, plenty of time to get down there. I'm pretty sure I haven't even seen the weather yet. I probably need to look up the weather and see what it's going to look like that game. But hey, we end the season on a high note. Let's get this thing pumped up. So what I wanted to do today, aside of talking about regular stuff that we do with Falcons, what's your favorite Falcon memory, man? What got you into the hate with the Yanks? What got you started in this rivalry? Um, was it your parents? Was it a certain game? Was it a certain player? What made you not like um, the New Orleans Saints? And I'm sure for a lot of people, it's a lot of stuff. Happy New Year to you, Brother Cam. Good to see you in the house. Appreciate that. Lisa, good to see you in here. Happy New Year to you too. I think we spoke the other day as well. Um, Nothing is going on at the moment, my friend. We are trying to. I'm sorry, and I said that wrong. That was Ken first. Y'all got to stop having these Lewises. Y'all got as many Lewises as we do Johnson. So Ken, my apologies. How you doing, Ken? And my bad, man. I get that just saying with Johnson and Johnston or something like that. But my apologies, my brother. Uh, Appreciate you. Damon, what's going on? Says, are you live? Hey, if I'm not live, then I don't know. I guess, yeah, I'm live. It is 5:19. I'm sure I'm a second or two off, but I think I'm live. So it's all good. It's a Cav says, my brother and auntie, I sincerely despised him. Oh man, brother Tidy. Brother Tidy is being our Glenn. What's his name? Glenn Beck. I forgot the weather guy's name here in Atlanta. 61 degrees forecasted to be the high on a Sunday, 85% chance of rain. So that will be a deterrent But I don't think it's going to stop people. I think there's going to be one day that you see people try to get their tents and umbrellas and things, it'll be that last game of the year. So uh, it's all good. Cam says the Lewis clan is largely everywhere. Y'all not as large as the Johnson clan. I will tell you that right now. Oh man. Oh man. David says, "Yeah, what's up? I hadn't spoke to you since last year. I got you. Last year, I feel you." Um, Ken says Drew Brees. Oh my goodness, yeah, he pretty much started the hate up here. I know. I'm gonna get into my story in just a second. David says we are freezing up here in South Carolina. Yeah, I know. Well, it was cold. It's still cold today. Don't get me wrong. It's not like we out here in um, tank tops or anything like that. But at least the wind stopped blowing. Yesterday, the wind was constantly blowing, and it was just cold everywhere. Damon said the Smiths. Say, oh yeah, Smiths too. I forgot about Smiths. Smiths are out there big time as far as last names are concerned. So let's dive deep into this. And I saw Ken was already getting it started. So I'm gonna go personal, and then y'all can feel free. And then if y'all notice today, for the first time in a long time, I have my phone hooked up. So if y'all want to actually talk for a few minutes, give me about 5 minutes. I'm trying to make sure this um, speaker is working like it's supposed to up here. So as soon as I get that, then you guys can start calling if you want to discuss this. Oh man, y'all are coming in real strong over here. I see Brother Chadwick in the house. It says, I'm in the teens in New Hampshire. Yeah, I can imagine, man. I don't want anything to do with the Northeast right now. I'm pretty sure it's snowing and everything up there. Damon says they in tank tops in Green Bay, but that doesn't mean it's warm. See, yeah, I don't go out like that though. But did y'all notice in the Buffalo game there were some guys in that Bills Mafia thing? They were out there shirtless in that cold weather, man. I'm sorry, I don't think I don't care how big time. In fact, I will take off my shirt in the middle of a cold if the Falcons win the Super Bowl. How about that? Y'all hold me to that one. January 4th, 2022. If we win the Super Bowl, I will go shirtless for a short period of time, by my definition. A short period. But look, back in 1978, and that's pretty much when it started for me. Uh, Not to say I wasn't a little Falcon fan going to Fulton County Stadium with my dad and sometimes the whole family or whatever. But pretty much in 1978, the year after the 7-7 season, which was a pretty good season. Up to that point, we had one season of 9-5. I think it was in 73, 72 or 73. But this was the first season I was able to really keep up. You know what I mean? It's one thing to go to the games and be able to uh, go and say you're there. But 1978, I started keeping up. And if you were a person that read the paper a lot, I started keeping up with the standings. I started keeping up with playoff scenarios and stuff. And I'm talking about I wasn't 10 yet. And I started keeping up with that stuff. And my Atlanta Falcons at that time in 1978, that was the year that pretty much my baptism into the Falcons Saints rivalry started. My mom and dad at the time used to go to New Orleans all the time for the game. That was back before anybody was big time into it, but they used to catch the little bus and where they worked, and the bus would take them down, and they would stay a night and do what they do. And me and my brother were left at home to be with our grandma, and we would be watching the game from home, and of course rooting for the Falcons. At least I was. My brother's a turncoat. He roots for the Denver Broncos. Don't ask why. But that first Big Ben game the Barkowski to Alfred Jackson. Well, it ended up going to Alfred Jackson. That particular play where we won with about 20 seconds left, Barkowski throws the ball up in the air. Of course, the infamous Big Ben right. Ball gets tipped up. Alfred Jackson catches the ball, runs in, and the euphoria between like four people in a room, I just couldn't. I mean, it was crazy. And back then, the Falcons, if they scored, they didn't have to worry about the other team coming back because our defense was decent then. But just the joy of winning that game in the last second uh, was just awesome. And then we went on to actually sweep them that year and ended up 9-7, making it to the playoffs, so on and so forth. So that's to me where it started. I know a lot of people hear about Archie Manning back in the day and how Archie Manning was a really good quarterback just on bad teams. And that was the truth. And when I was younger, Archie Manning used to sling that thing. He used to sling it around there, but they just were not that good back then. And we pretty much owned the Saints. And matter of us that our biggest win ever, 62-7. So that was something that in our household, it was just passed down that you were not to like the Saints. So I want to hear from some of you about when did this thing get real to you? A lot of people, they just jump on the bandwagon, Saints, yeah, whatever. But was there a moment? Was there a game? Was there something? I know a lot of people always point to the playoff game and after the 1991 season, the only time we played them in the playoffs and we actually won that game. A lot of people remember that fondly. I remember the game where we won in overtime when New Orleans was trying to, they were about to punt the ball went over the guy's head. We went in, scored the touchdown. I think Russell Ertslaben was his name. Won that game. Of course, of recent memory, of course, in 2017, Debo with the timely interception of Drew Brees in the end zone. The year before that, in 2016, to go up there and throttle them like we did. And that was an early Saints Falcon game that particular year. I think that was only the third game of the year. And we went down to New Orleans, and Debo, of course, back when he was making plays, Debo ran the touchdown back. That was pretty special. People start talking about those moments. I think that's to me, that's where the rivalry started. To me, it was. Get some of these comments. I'm trying to get some of them on. And for some reason, it is not working. What's up, Dre? How you doing? Trying to see who this is down here. Trying to give y'all, if I don't say y'all name, please don't take it personally. It's some of the computer stuff not working with me right here. Damon says, and never liked the Saints, Cowboys, and 49ers. Help them. Yeah, I got you. What's going on, Shot Boogie? How you doing, my friend? Good to see you in the house. Dre says, what about the OC interception against them? Now, that actually was not an interception. I was at that game, and actually I found out Tidy was at that game. That was a fumble recovery. Believe it or not, blast from the past, Croy Bierman made the strip sack on Drew Brees, who had got sacked, I think it was like 5 times in that particular game. And OC scooped the ball up, and it was a meaningless play because really it was meaningless before that because New Orleans was going down the field. Even if they scored, they would have had to kick the onside kick and all that good stuff. The game was practically over, but it was just a good moment because that was the last play of that. Yeah, Dre says he thought that was a interception. It was not an interception. Trust me, was there. That was a fumble recovery. Croy Bierman, go check it out on Game Pass. It was it was the final game of that play. Matter of fact, no, actually, I don't think I had that. David said, "Yeah, those are the days when we had a defense." Yeah, believe it or not, um, that particular year, man, it was just hard luck because we had a year kind of similar to the NFC East last year. Because when we won that game, going into that game, the Saints were 6-9. We were 5 and hold on. Saints were 6-9. We were 5-10. Was it 5-10? Yeah, we were 5-10 or something like that. Anyway, we beat the Saints, and then we had a winner take all against Carolina because Carolina was 7-8, no, 6-9, and we were 5-10. But if we would have won, we would have had a tiebreaker or something like that. But Carolina drug us that particular game. I think we went down the field. I think Carolina scored 7, we scored 3, and I think they scored like the next 30 points, but they destroyed us in that particular game. But yeah, that New Orleans game was pretty memorable down there. And my son and I were at that game right under the goalpost that particular time. I think I've shared that video on the post before, but yeah, that was something else. What's going on, PJ? How you doing? Say, do you think Ridley is back next year? I gotta think he's not. I mean, my gut tells me that I don't think he's coming back. The mere fact that he's kind of persona non grata as far as the press conferences are concerned, nobody seems to want to talk about it. I just have a feeling. You talk about somebody on the trade block, he's probably on the trade block quicker than anything else, if you ask me about that. And I'm trying to see who this is right here. Want to know what you would do with our first round pick, and would you try to move Matt Ryan post June 1st? And for some reason, I have no idea again why this is not coming up. Oh, that's you, Shy. Would I try to move Matt Ryan post June 1st? If you ask me right now, Shy, I think my answer is going to be no, and hear me out before you think otherwise. From a financial standpoint at this moment, unless there is a team willing to take on some of the responsibility for that cap room, it makes no sense. And I just don't think we would be served to let him go, even if a post June 1st designation is still very expensive. I don't think you do that. I'm not sure that's the smart move. I think we're just gonna ride Matt out. Does that mean we stop living and not try to get the heir apparent in here? Does that mean we don't try to get another quarterback in here? No, that means you still try to go for the future. Matt is not going to be here in 2023. I heard somebody talking about we're going to restructure Matt and do this. Dude, the restructuring of Matt days are over with. If Matt had similar to a 2018 year where he put up 30 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 4,000 plus yards and things like that, I think they would have probably restructured him before the season was over with. There is nothing right now that would make Matt be a candidate for restructuring again. The Falcons had to do that last year, folks. This was not hey, we got a great quarterback, let's sit here and restructure. We had to do that. When we didn't know at the time, Julio wasn't going anywhere. I mean, Julio wasn't going to play for us. Julio wasn't trying to restructure. Julio was disgruntled. We didn't know that at the time. So he wasn't giving any money back. So the only way they were going to get under the cap was to do what they did with Matt's contract. I think they're going to sit it out, wait it. I'm not trying to tell y'all Felipe Franks is the next starting quarterback in 2022, but I do think they go out and get some more talent in here. David, what's going on? David says they were 7-8-1. We were 6-9. Very good. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I knew it was something like that, but I knew it was like a triangle of games at that time. When we played the Saints, that was an elimination game between the Falcons and Saints. So, yeah, I thought we were going to win that game. I went to both games. I came back to Atlanta and went to that Carolina game, and that was embarrassing. We did that. Titus says, speaking of Ridley, what do you think the trade market for him is in terms of what we could get? I think we could easily get I think he should easily get a first-round pick. Listen, Ridley is a talent. And I think think about it, folks. Going into 2021, Calvin Ridley was an all-pro second team, albeit all-pro wide receiver. If you can put that moniker before your name in a skill position, that's pretty high. That means, hands down, you are probably one of the top 10 receivers in the league. It's questionable, but at that time, going into year, that's what it was. And knowing that, I think GMs are going to do their due diligence and see. Again, I'm not into speculating until I get facts to see if there is validity with the mental health claims. Look, the man said it out his mouth. I'm going to believe what he says until I hear otherwise. But if they see that this was, maybe I was tired of being here and this was draining or something like that, teams are going to make a pretty big pitch for that. That's the first round tender, at least a first round, in my opinion. It should be. Y'all forgive me, man. Some of these don't have the names. If you don't sign the thing, and I'm sure Tidy or whoever has StreamYard, they'll tell you. If you don't say the name, it'll say Facebook user is going too fast, and I want to say all of your comments, so y'all forgive me. Or either put your name in the comments in case I don't see it, because if I don't see it, then I'm not going to be able to say your name, and I want to acknowledge y'all if y'all come through. Say, okay, I'm out. It's family time. Ridley is gone. Matt is gone. If we find a taker. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be that easy, but yeah, I hear what you're saying. If somebody gives you an offer that you can't refuse, of course you're going to take it. But at the same time, I don't know. I keep hearing the Pittsburgh thing. Dude, if I'm Pittsburgh, why would I go get Matt Ryan? Why would I get Matt Ryan at 37 and clearly declining from what he was 3-4 years ago? Shoot, if that's the case, I'd put some duct tape and staples and get Big Ben out there again if I was going to do it that way. I don't know. I think you move on. I think you try to get a younger quarterback at least. I'm not saying Baker Mayfield, but there's some other guys out there. Dre says Tidy Brown's action on Sunday reminded me of Juwanna Mann. Yeah, I keep talking about that Juwanna Mann scene. I know exactly what you're talking about when he was on the court. What do we do with the first pick? And I know what you're talking about, first pick. At this moment, if you had to ask me, and I'm going to change my mind at least 20 times, but I'm just thinking about needs from what I see right now, you got to get somebody to put a pass rush on the quarterback. I was very disturbed seeing TJ Watt do what he did yesterday. And when I say disturbed, I'm saying because you keep thinking about what ifs. Now, my thing is, I'm not going to sit here and blame the Falcons for not drafting TJ Watt, because TJ Watt had 20 teams that didn't draft him either. And at the time, there were people that questioned TJ Watt. Were we just getting the Watt name, or was he going to truly be somebody who put up numbers. Well, we see now that he did, but back when the draft was coming out, they didn't have TJ Watt. No one had TJ Watt in the top 10. I want to argue if they had him in the top 15. So I don't want to play Monday morning quarterback with that one, but I go back to a pass rusher. That's an immediate impact. When I see somebody like Michael Parsons, that's another person I hear Atlanta people, we should have got Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons was not going to go at number 4. He didn't go in the top 5. He didn't go in the top 6. So, look, they come and they end up balling. That's good for them that they ended up showing up. Nobody had Michael Parsons at the very end in the top 5 of their draft. There were some that had him in the top 10. But nobody had him where you should go at number 4. Makia, this year, Matt had dollar store wide receivers. Would have had 30 touchdowns if Ridley was playing. Slow down on 30. I think he would have done better. But I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you I know every scheme, every position, I know position, but every play, every formation and all of that. All I know is my eyes told me, and I know some of y'all got glasses jokes, forget y'all, but my eyes showed me that Matt just doesn't have it anymore. He doesn't. I'm sorry. He doesn't have it like he used to. I know some of y'all want him to, but he doesn't. I don't see any team giving up a first round for Calvin, especially with the mental health attached to him. AB not helping Calvin's totally different things. Totally different. Yeah. Matter of fact, the comparison between those two guys is an insult to him. Yeah, not two different stories. Calvin will get a first. If with the right team, Calvin would get a first round pick. I bet you Baltimore would give a first round pick for him. I bet you Arizona would give a first round pick for him. I bet you the Rams would give a first round pick for him. I'm starting to think about teams that are talented teams that could use another receiver right now going into, well, obviously we wouldn't get them going into the playoffs. Good teams would give up that first round pick. New England would give up a first round pick for him if they could get him. Calvin Ridley is a great route runner. Teams love that. If you have a quarterback that's an accurate quarterback, Calvin Ridley is probably your godsend. You could easily get a first round for Calvin. Brother Armani, what's going on? Say, man, if we can get a first round pick or second for Ridley, that would really help. 2 first round picks and 2 second round picks would fill a lot of needs for us. Also, and then remember, because this is a 1-year deal, you're actually not giving up a lot of, as far as the cap space is concerned. I think that's just his salary. Double check that for me, Tidy. Isn't that right? If we gave him up in a trade, it's not like, I don't think that's counted as a bonus, and I'm not looking at it right now. I probably need to check that out before I say another word. But yeah, that would be great. Hey, what's going on, man? Say Skate's getting that broom this weekend. I hope so. We can sweep the Saints, man. Yeah, I'm not going to be happy about an 8-9 season, but to go 2-0 against all rivals, that would be, and to keep them out the playoffs. Oh my good man! If I could hear halftime at the end of that game, if I could just hear that one good time, that would just be so smooth to me. And I'm sorry, man. That you say what you want to say. This is probably one of the best hype songs ever when you think about it. When they play that crap at their stadium, it's like the inner person in you wanna You want to, but you know what they represent, so you just don't want to. But it's just something hyped about that song, man. But I hate when those dudes celebrate to that crap, man. But yeah, that would be cool if we can do that. Ridley goes under this year's contract for next season, so whoever wants him will go this year's contract next year. So you mean the season? Yeah. So in other words, we're not going to lose out. We're not going to be paying a cap for him. This is his actual 5th year coming up. So it's not like we would lose any cap space for that. Why are we talking about Matt coming back in 2022 instead of Dion and the rest of the defense? I don't know. I think Dion is on the bench. I mean, Dion is on the, Dion is somebody I think that's really on the fence, folks. And I was talking about it earlier when somebody else was putting the comments on. Dion has underperformed for his contract. If we were talking 2016 to 2019 Dion, when he was on his rookie contract, I think you would take a chance on bringing him back. Now, Dion is making baller money, and these last couple of years, he's going to make good money for us if he stays here. Maybe he's a candidate for restructuring. I don't know. The number one linebacker I want to bring back here is Fourier. And I'm not sure if you're going to be able to afford both of them at what Dion is costing us right now. Now, that's me. That's me. Say Fowler is not coming back. Yeah, I don't think Fowler is coming back either. Means cannot go into the next season as the starter. Let's hope we do better than that. Let's hope we do. PJ says, so knowing we need a pass rush and the best will be gone by the time we are set to pick now. So do you want to lose this game and get a higher pick and send the Saints or win and send the Saints home? PJ, I've talked about this, and I don't know if you probably heard, and you should know this, man. Baseball, basketball, those are easier sports that you can tank in because it's not physical. It's not gladiator. When you're going up against, when you're playing football, you got to hit people. You're getting hit. Even if I put the scrubbiest of scrubs in the game, they gonna try to make a mark for themselves. So I don't think the football term of tank to me is non-existent. So I just don't see football teams tanking. Now, to answer your question, personally, I would love to see Atlanta get the win because we're at a point right now, PJ, where I'm more concerned about how our scouting and our GM are going to evaluate the talent coming in. It's still a question mark right now. I know everybody's going to point directly at Mayfield and say that was a bust. We're playing Mayfield out of position. So I'm not ready to put the bust title on him. I think we could see what he does next year. The jury is still out on this draft pick, on this draft class in 2021. So how much a difference are we talking about? We go from 7 to 10 to 8, 9. Are we talking 10 spots? Are we talking 3 or 4 spots? I'm not sure if that's enough of a move to me. If it's less than 8 spots that the win will get us or the loss will get us, I don't think it's worth it. My opinion. David says all this hindsight doesn't go into consideration when we think in development of talent. Now, again, going back to what I was saying, David, 1 year. I can't, Kyle Pitts aside, it's hard to give a grade for Richie Grant because they really didn't put him out there until later on. It's hard to put a grade. Well, you can put a grade on Mayfield, but Yeah, I guess you could put a grade on him, but I'm still willing to give him another year or so. Third round pick. It's not like, you know. So you still have a lot of guys that you need to let's see what happens. Frank Darby didn't touch the field that much. Let's see what we have before we just totally say it was a wash. You can't do that to a draft class in 1 year. You can't. Everybody doesn't perform just like that. We lucked up so much in 2016, y'all. Do y'all realize how much we lucked up in that draft? That not only did we get 3 starters, but we got 3 guys that actually performed very well at that time. We did. We drafts don't happen like that for everybody. They don't. And we had an excellent draft that year and we reaped the benefits. But then we didn't know how to keep it going. Armani says again, if Matt is so great, why can't he make these dollar store wide receivers look good? That's what y'all said he do, right? Make wide receivers look good. Yeah, I'm not feeling. Listen, I'm not. I want so badly to go to that game that Big Ben had yesterday, where we have Matt Ryan and he, because Matt is going to deserve that game, y'all. And we can say what we want to say about what he's done over the last couple of weeks. Matt is going to deserve that game when it happens. When he has that last game in Mercedes-Benz and the fans are there, we're going to give him his love. I just think it should be sooner than later. I almost wish he came out with a statement on Friday. Hey, y'all, I'm leaving. But yeah, one more year, y'all. One more year. Like you say, yeah, Tyler Davidson can't come back. That's true. He stayed hurt, man. Say, why are people saying we should trade Grady Jarrett? Money, strictly money. It's not anything. And that everybody's coming to me. I appreciate y'all talking to me on YouTube on Uncle Steve's Lounge. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe there. Got a lot more YouTube people coming in, and I want to give them all the love in the world because I appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel. We're gonna have a big 2022. I appreciate that. Only reason I'm saying I would say you have to consider Grady Jarrett. Grady Jarrett definitely is somebody who could fetch a #1 pick, and I think he's somebody for the money that we're going to end up owing him in the last couple of years. You got to think about it. He said Davidson could clean out his locker now. Oh man, D, what's going on? D said, "What's going? Hey, time to evaluate some talent in the draft." Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Listen, we're gonna get hot and heavy into draft here once the season is over with. We got a lot of stuff to talk about as far as free agents and who's gonna stay, who's gonna go. Trust me, we're gonna get into it big time, y'all. We are definitely gonna get into it big time in the Atlanta Bird game and on Uncle Steve's Lounge. Trust me, we are about to. I'm trying to find my little cursor so I can go up. I'm so sorry, y'all. This is Tidy said the best we can get in losing to the Aints would be drafting 7. They're already 16 with 11 losses. We are projected to draft 10. So yeah, if we're talking about a 3-game switch, I mean, that's not that much, y'all. That's not worth losing the game. I think you still try. I think you still try to go out and you still try to go out and win this game. 3 slots. If your scouting team can't over scout and get a steal or 2 in the draft, they don't deserve to be where they are. Clayton says we probably can't get picks for Ridley. I don't think a team's going to gamble on him. AB's putting a bad taste in coach's mouth. And I'm Clayton, I'm sorry, I disagree with y'all. I think there's a little bit of reading between the lines with a couple of these things. I don't think Calvin is that guy. And maybe in a couple of months things will come to light because right now, as a team, Atlanta, they can't say anything about Calvin Ridley right now. They can't say a word. They probably already know what's going on, but they can't say anything, y'all. They can't. But this AB and Calvin situation comparison is borderline ludicrous. to me. Rusty says, AJ, what's up, Rusty? AJ, Foye, Grant, Pitts, Lindstrom are the only dudes I would want on the roster next year. Legit. Everyone else can go for the right price. Yeah. 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 I want to get rid of everybody, though, man. Not everybody. I would leave Matthews on the fence. Now, Jake Matthews had a decent year, man. I hadn't had a problem with Jake this year. No problem with Jake. What do we do with Koo? Koo has been pretty much Koo has made how many? 2 this year? 2 kicks? Gotta think about that. I think about that too. Somebody says Rid's contract will reset this season unless he plays against the Aints. If traded next season, I think we could take a small dead cap hit with 1.5 and save $2 million on the cap. At least that's on the plus side. So I'll take that. Clayton says Fourier, AJ, and Rush, the only people I want back on defense. And Grady, if he's okay with the money, that's fine. Going on, Brother Corliss. Say, thank you for your podcast this season, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate that, man. Myself, Tidy, Marcus. Look, man, we try to keep y'all informed and slightly entertained as we can. Hopefully in 2022, our group hasn't been together long for a winning season. I would love to see how everything happens with us during a winning season. That's my wish coming into this year. We do that. Do you think an extra year in college football will hurt or help the draft? I think it'll. I don't know. I think it'll. I don't think your body is as developed when you're younger. I would love to see some of these cats come in more in their 21, 22-year-old bodies as opposed to 20-year-olds and right at 21. Sometimes there always seems to be that difference when those younger rookies come in. You always see them go through that transition of, gain a lot of weight. Now they know the speed of the game and stuff like that. I don't know. I think that's why when you look at quarterbacks like Justin Herbert, I think he was more ready when he stayed that last year. If you ask me, I think he was a little bit ready last year. I think he just had to go through the, rookie first year jitters, but I think he was ready last year. Do we play our starters? Or do we play our young guys and get them more reps? For what? you play to win, man. You play to win this game. This is New Orleans Saints, man. You don't go out there and try. Look, everybody is auditioning. The starters for this team, they're auditioning. CP Patterson, he's auditioning for his next contract. Mike Davis, auditioning to stay that second year. Allison, auditioning to stay. Gage, auditioning for free agency. Everybody on the defense, auditioning to stay. When you say play the young guys, who? And what benefit do you get? You need to know of the guys that you consider starters who wants to be here. And you'll find out in the Saints game who wants to be here and who doesn't. I would like to see Mayfield at tackle because we're all done with Caleb McGarry. Now that's a move I could go for. I really could. Go for. Say, what's good, Uncle Steve? I apologize. I can't see your name on here. I need to go down here and fix this other thing. But how y'all doing? Good to see y'all in the house. Appreciate you joining us today. Since Sunday is our last game of the season, do you think we'll get an official update on Ridley to see his future is? I think you'll probably get something closer towards the beginning of the football season, which is usually March 1st, right before they have to make their cuts and whatever to get under the salary cap. I think that's when you'll start to hear exactly what's going on with Ridley. I don't think we're going to hear anything unless you hear whispers from his camp or something like that. I don't think you're going to hear anything anytime soon about He's quiet on game day. Let's see. Tiny says, go out and win the game. Guys, you already spoke about the TJ Watt and Michael Parsons prove every year there is talent everywhere in the draft. Ask Grady Jarrett. That people forget that. Grady Jarrett, what, fifth round, right? Fifth round pick? It, dude, play to win. Play to win. No, I was hollering out names. Kaminsky, the guy we drafted from the Division 3 team to come in here. And what was that? A fifth round pick, sixth round pick? Yeah. So, Akeem says Matt made Sand and Hopper and Gabriel Sanu, that's what you meant. Sanu and Hooper and Gabriel when they had an O line. Keyword O line. This O line is young and they get pushed around by the D line. It starts in the trenches. I'm going to say that about the trenches, but there's something else I'm going to say too. I know we are, and we should be, extremely critical about this O line. O lines, folks, aren't built in the day, and O lines need the same folks for the most part there to build a continuity with each other. We haven't, these guys have not been able to gel this year. Now, are they worse than what we had when we had the Jets free agents in here, when we had Jamal Brown, Brown and Carpenter? Were they much better? Or were they about the same? And in that particular case, at least we got young folks in there as opposed to free agents that we brought that we were coming in and thought they were going to stop up the middle. I want to give these guys a little bit of a chance, not a huge chance, but give them a chance to at least bond a little bit. Let's see. Clayton said, what's our number one position we need to pick? I think wide receiver. We were talking about that earlier, Clayton. I still think it's a pass rusher, man. We cannot allow quarterbacks to get comfortable. Josh Allen probably had one of his worst passing games. He had an awful passing game to me. And I think it would have been worse if we had a pass rush. He had no pass rush. Zero. I think you got to get a pass rusher. Wide receiver is definitely on the shopping list. It's definitely something you need to shop for, but I think you go and get a pass rusher this year. Fire sale. Everyone could go Matt Debo, Ridley, Freddie the Falcon, even the Ice Cubes. I'm getting out of Ice Cube talk. I ain't got nothing to do with all that. I'll let y'all talk about other people's kids. I ain't doing none of that mess. Tiny says, if Fontenot called you tomorrow and asked you for advice on a Matt Ryan exit strategy, what's your reply? Toddy, I think at this point, and I'll tell him, say, look, buddy, you got sold some damaged goods, and I would rather us have that colonoscopy in 2022 and clear it all out in 22. So by the time you get to 2023, everything's flowing, your money's back to some semblance of normalcy, and do that. I think unless there's a team willing enough to take some of that, trade cash to get Matt Ryan. In other words, take up some of that space that he's going to take. Because if we trade him, again, we're going to have still a load of space that we need cleared up. So we get somebody to take some of that space from us or pay us for some of that space. I don't know. That's the only thing I think. But right now, if you ask me, I think we got to deal with it. Embrace the suck. I know that's a Dan Quinn. Y'all hate that one. We got to keep Patterson. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Patterson, let me tell y'all something, man. Patterson is good. Patterson is real good. Here's my thing coming on. I think somebody is calling real quick. Caller, how you doing? This is Steve here in Atlanta Bird Gang and on Uncle Steve's Lounge. Who I got today? What's going on, Ron? How you doing, brother? Happy New Year to you, man.
Happy New Year, man.
All right, talk to me. What you got on your mind?
Man, got together ASAP for us to get better as a team.
He's got to. I apologize. He's got to do what, my friend?
Matt Ryan got to go ASAP for us to get better as a team.
Okay, so Ron, and I know you have covered this a lot. With our financial situation, though, we're not going to have any money to do a whole lot when you let Matt go. So what's your solution? I want to know the solution to what you're going to do.
Okay, first, I would trade Matt Ryan to Pittsburgh. I would draft that kid from Pitt.
Oh, hold on, Ron. Let me try to adjust you because they say they can't hear you. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. Let me see if I can get you on here a little bit louder. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, let me get you up here. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear him a little bit better. Okay, talk now, Ron.
Yes, I would trade Matt Ryan to Pittsburgh for 2 picks.
Yeah, but okay.
The quarterback for Pitt.
Okay, so if you so you think Pittsburgh is going to give up 2 picks for Matt Ryan, 2 number 1 picks for Matt Ryan?
Because we've been talking to Pittsburgh for the last 2 weeks about it.
I just don't see that. I just don't see that. I don't see Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is usually one of the smarter franchises around. I just do not see Pittsburgh saying, let's give up these 2 first-round picks to let an aging and only, how old is Big Ben? Big Ben is 40, right?
I don't know how old Big Ben is. I think he bought like 40.
Yeah, so Matt Ryan is 37. So you're going to, if I'm Pittsburgh, I'm going to trade 2 of my future picks and for a 37-year-old who I must admit might be a smidge better than Ben at this moment, but that's not saying a lot. My kid say he's 38. So Big Ben is 38? Okay, so that even doesn't make, okay, so, and I appreciate that. I mean, that doesn't even make more sense because I'm not gonna trade. If I'm gonna trade 2 number 1 picks, I'll roll the dice on Deshaun Watson. If I'm gonna trade some number 1 picks, Matt Ryan is at best worth a 3rd round pick. Huh?
We don't know if Deshaun Watson will play next year. We know Matt Ryan could play next year.
And I get you, Ron. And like I said, I'm not gonna listen. I hear you loud and clear. I don't want you to think that I'm disrespecting your opinion. I'm just saying, to me, fiscally, it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to give away 2. Matt Ryan at best, at right now, coming off this year, I'm not sure if I would give a 2nd round pick for Matt Ryan. Would anybody out there give a 2nd round pick for Matt Ryan at this stage? And you got to pick up that big salary too. It's not like we're talking about Matt Stafford. It's not like we're talking about, at least Carson Wentz is younger. We're not trading for Matt Ryan in 2016. If you're coming off 2016, that would be one thing. I can't pay him that. I can't pay him that money, man. And I mean, that might be, like I said, that might be me, Ron. I don't, and I'm not talking to you personally. I'm just saying, I just don't think it makes a lot of sense. It's a great scenario. Listen, if we can trick Pittsburgh into giving us 2 first-round picks, let me tell you something. That would be beautiful for us. But I just don't see Pittsburgh as that franchise. I just don't think Pittsburgh is that franchise and everything. Who give me before
always told me a sucker born every day.
Oh, hey, listen. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Ron, before you get off, man, give me one Falcons Saints memory that you have, brother, that you remember from years gone back or even recently.
Okay, the first time I met Deion Sanders.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
My dad used to work in the security at the Georgia Dome.
Okay. Awesome. What year was that? 90?
Let me see. The year he I want to say the year he got into that fight when he came back.
With Andre Rison?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that. That was 1990. Should have been 95, 94 or 95. Might have been 94. 1994 when that season.
And my dad knew him, me was a big fan of Deion Sanders. And my dad was like, you know who that is? I said, yeah, that's Deion. He said, well, since you know so much about Deion, now go talk to him.
There you go. And you got a chance to meet Prime, eh?
Right. I got a chance to meet a lot of our old Hall of Fame football players.
I'm sure you did. That was as a youngster, that was awesome to have that opportunity, man. My brother Ron, I appreciate you, man. Again, Happy New Year. Call me back, brother. You know you always welcome on the line, bro. Thank you, sir. All right, man. That's brother Ron dialing up. Hadn't heard the phone in a long time. I apologize. I hope y'all can hear that. Sorry about that. Let me get back to some of these comments. Anthony says, what's up? What's up? Anthony said, who gets the first cut in the wide receiver room? Well, you don't have to worry about cutting Gage because he's a free agent. Blake, I'm not sure what his status is either. I gotta look up these. Let me go back to, and I usually don't do this during the thing, y'all, but I am right now. The Atlanta Falcons. And I know we talk about 2022 free agents. I'm not on my share thing, but okay, I'm gonna go down the list real quick. And as I go down the list, y'all can help me out. So free agents right now, they're showing on the list. Dante Fowler, Matt Gano, Cordero Patterson. And these are unrestricted free agents, not restricted free agent, unrestricted, meaning they can go talk to a team after Sunday's game. Lee Smith, Hayden Hurst. Now I'm looking at all those salaries that we're losing. Dante, $15 million. Matt Gano, $3.3 million. Even though they might bring Gano back, I don't know. Cordero Patterson, $3 million. Lee Smith, $3 million. Hayden Hurst, almost $3 million, 2.7. Eric Harris, 1.3. AJ McCarron, 1.2. Deron Harmon, 1.2. Isaiah Oliver, 1.1. They might bring Isaiah back. Going out here for names that I know people care about. Thomas Morstead, the punter, we signed him for a year. Barkley just picked him up. Brandon Copeland, $1 million. Tajay Sharp, basically $1 million. Younghoe Koo, that's the other person that I'm talking about. Younghoe Koo, $900 million. Christian Blake, free agent, but he's a restricted free agent. $800,000. Jaden Graham, I forgot he was on the team. Josh Rosen, he'll be gone. Russell Gage was getting, for what he's done, Russell Gage is getting severely underpaid. $654,000. Russell will get a contract with somebody. I'm not saying that he deserves a second shot with us or not, but I'm just saying he's going to get paid by somebody. Alamany Zacchaeus is actually a restricted free agent, so that'll be interesting to see what they do with him. I wouldn't mind keeping him 500,000. I'm sure he's not going to be asking for that much more on that. I'm gonna skip on down here, y'all, to some of these comments. Tidy says Blake was a free agent. Rusty says someone mentioned the Browns being a suitor for Matt Ryan the other day. That makes a lot of sense. It makes more sense than Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh doesn't make any sense. Pittsburgh doesn't, and I keep hearing the rumor. Is Pittsburgh that desperate? And if they are that desperate, I'm trying to think, y'all. What I don't get where Matt Ryan would be like the first guy they would think about. I gotta turn these volume down. I'm gonna get y'all on here. How you doing, man? You know, Uncle Steve's Lounge and Atlanta Bird Gang. Who we got? Who we got? Hey, what's going on, brother? How you doing? I think you got your volume up. Turn your volume down. I think your volume is echoing. What's going on, my friend?
Man, just sitting over here thinking about this Caleb Mack situation. I want to see something different, man. They put Gossett in the game. They took Mayfield out. So I really wasn't paying attention to how that rolled. I just heard it when they said it.
Right.
But I want to see how he look at tackle because those boy gets whooped up over there, man. He gets smashed.
McGarry? You talking about McGarry?
McGarry gets smashed, man. Week in, week out.
We reached for that pick, and for some reason, I think that particular year, if you remember that year, we drafted Lindstrom, McGarry, and then we signed Carpenter and Brown. And I think for some reason, we thought we were remaking the wheel that particular year in the line, and McGarry has not been the guy. And then remember, he had the little heart thing going on with his health.
When he first got drafted, right?
Absolutely. The first year, I don't think he played the first 3 or 4 weeks or whatever it was that particular year. And so I'm not sure that's to your point. Maybe see how Mayfield is out there. Tell me what your feeling is on Matt right now. I know, and not personal. Just what do you think the best map is for the Falcons when it comes to Matt Ryan? Stay.
Well,
one more.
I put it like this. I don't mean to cut you off, but I put it like this. I would put a package together for Deshaun Watson. I don't really care at this point. I put something together. Other than that, you really ain't got nothing to look forward to in the draft. If we want to do anything, I would rather do it the way Kansas City did it. You know, you get the team good, and then you put the new guy behind it. Let Matt take the beating. Let Matt take the beating right now. Because if we put a new QB like that, he gonna get smacked up too.
The sacrificial lamb.
Let Matt take it, bro. Let Matt take that beat down right now. It's all good. Just build that team up. Now this is what I really want to talk about. Now as much as we talk about our defense, man, we taking that ball away at a good clip, a real good clip.
Yeah.
So you add some pass rush to that, you know, and you add some offensive pieces where we can actually run the ball. Because if you look at how we run the ball, the reason Quadri can't get no run, the reason Davis can't get nowhere, is they're running into a wall.
Yeah.
Now you watch Green Bay or any of these other playoff teams when they run. It is wide open. You remember how we was in 2016?
Oh, I remember.
I'm talking about wide open.
And it makes a difference when you start talking about your offensive line. And remember, that was the same offensive line in 2015 that we were ready to ship out. Levitri, Chester, Matthews. We were ready to ship them cats out of here in 2015. And then you added Alex Mack in 16, and that made the turnaround on the team. But everybody else on that line was the same. So you got to get that. You said something real important when you were talking about when you went back to the Deshaun Watson thing, when you say do what you need to do. I think
it's real. It's a touchy situation.
Right.
If it clears up, I don't see nothing wrong with it, man. If it all clears up, I really don't see nothing wrong with it.
I think eventually it's gonna have to. This off season is probably gonna have to figure itself out because he can't stay on that exemption list forever. So I think
he's not on the exemption list.
They did take him off.
He can play right now.
Yeah, and but you know how that goes, man. Teams don't, and teams have to worry. And I know this sounds silly with NFL billion-dollar teams. People worry about that stuff, man. You don't want folks out there protesting at your game for somebody with all those. That's too many cases. And I know it hasn't come to a legitimate trial yet. I know we haven't hit there yet. My man, what's his name? Rusty Harden, the guy who did Roger Clemens stuff. That's his lawyer. So the quieter things are, I got a feeling by this off season, I think they're gonna try to work that stuff out. It would be great, but here's my only thing, and before I break, the only thing is, remember, even if we were to trade Matt, think about Watson's contract, bro. We're talking about money. He's making more money now in the front end of his contract than Matt is making on this back end. So, you're talking about sucking up quite a bit of salary. Granted, love the talent. Would love to have Deshaun here, but bro, you're not gonna have money for nothing.
Hey, but you gotta think about it. True's contract coming off. Julio, he's coming off.
Got one more year for Julio. Next year, got to do Julio's one more year.
Well, with True's coming off.
Yeah, True coming off. Right.
There's a lot of stuff coming off.
Right.
The cap going up.
Well, I just read. Right.
I think they're gonna be all right. They just need to make a few moves. To just to get competitive, because we can hang with the good team for about a good 2 to 3 quarters. But when they start making their push, then it's hard for us to stay with the push. Now we can do it all right now because we're smashing the teams we're supposed to smash. Well, we ain't smashing them, but we're winning, right? We're beating the teams that we're supposed to beat, and the teams that are clearly supposed to be out of our league, they are showing, hey, look, we're supposed to beat the Falcons, and they did. So ain't nothing wrong with that. Because when we was good, remember all those years we was good, and we was beating everybody up and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
People forget it. But I remember all those years. We
was
tearing people apart.
Absolutely.
Running the ball down their throat, doing everything they was doing. That's what we was doing in them. Back right, that's all.
The Michael Turner years, mostly when we were taking names. And you made a one more good point you made about the defense. I was not aware. I guess I was watching the games, but we had a turnover in, what did they say, 12 straight games?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's leading the league right now, brother.
Man, and think about a team. Most of the time when you see teams take the ball away at that clip, that means they're usually a playoff team. But because our offense is just so stagnant, and because the offensive line just hasn't developed as quick as we like it, I think we're in standstill.
Hey, you said something that made sense too. You said something earlier about the defense, and that's what made me think about, okay, man, we're taking the ball away at a good clip. Right. Imagine if we had a pass rusher. Okay, you said Josh Allen had a bad day passing. Imagine if we had a pass rusher to make that day worse.
Man.
Right? All right, so if you add that to all the interceptions, the fumbles we've been getting, you had some real monsters up front. And we've been able to, okay, think about it. That when we got that turnover, that 4-year turnover in the third quarter, we got the interception.
Right.
What if we was able to just run the ball straight to the end zone? We was already on the 26 or we got 30 or something like that. What if we was able to just run it in? We don't need the passer.
We
you know
need.
What I'm saying? But we don't have those things. So we got to get right. That's all. We got to get right. I trust the coach. I trust the coach.
Yeah, I'm willing to give him another shot. And before you break out, bro, give me your favorite Saints Falcon memory, man, for the Saints Falcons.
Favorite one. It always stuck with me. Michael Vick running into the end zone, 27-yard touchdown.
Woo!
Fires the ball into the stands in New Orleans.
I was there.
Hey, they fired the ball back. And the New Orleans Saints fans blow the ball back. They don't want you don't want that ball, do you?
Real short story. I don't know if you've ever been into the Superdome. Have you been to the Superdome before?
I've been there. I went. Hey, I'm gonna tell you like this, I'm a truck driver.
Oh, yes, sir. I forgot.
Go to New Orleans quite a bit.
I forgot.
I've never been there for a game, but I went there specifically to spit on the building. You understand me? You understand me? I went over there just to spit on the building. This was probably 2013, 2014.
Oh,
very good.
yeah.
I was going through the area.
Bruh.
And the guy that was with me, my helper, he said, "Are you serious? You want to go?" I'm going to go over there just to spit on this building. I hate these people that much. I don't hate the people. Ain't no wrong with New Orleans folks.
Bro,
But,
you
that rivalry is real, you know?
yes, it is. My brother, you keep trucking, man, and always, man, I'm always happy to hear you come in, man. Call me back when you get a shot, man. Keep it safe on the roads.
Absolutely. Be good, man.
Be good, brother. I was at that game. The game he's talking about. And if I'm not mistaken, let me make sure I get that right. That was either 2000. Was that 2004? I'm trying to think, was that 2004 or 2002? But that particular game, if you've ever been to the Superdome, they have, like the Falcons have the 100s, the 200s, the 300s. Well, the Saints will go up to, I think it goes up to like 500 and 600, if I'm not mistaken. But there's one particular section that's up, I mean, nosebleed up, where when I'm saying you looking down, I remember my wife got up there, you almost get seasick looking down because you're above the upper level where you were. And that's when we used to go to the games and it was crazy. So that particular game, I'm trying to tell you, man, it took us about 3 hours. No joke. Because them Saints fans were mad. And I remember Victor, and if I'm not mistaken, I think that was overtime. I think that might have been an overtime game. I probably have to, somebody look it back up for me, because I know Game Pass doesn't go back that far. But that was one of the great, and I'm being great facetious, Vic versus Aaron Brooks, the cousin game. That was one of those type games that we had. And we won the game in the last second. Vic threw the ball up in the air. And, man, it took forever. Them Saints fans were ticked. Folks was up there fighting. It was absolutely crazy. But I do remember that game. And that was pretty cool when we did that. Let me get back to a couple of these things. Hey, Titus says, I hope we can keep Gage and re-sign him to a team-friendly contract. I don't think his value will be incredibly high. He's only 25 years old. Good number 3 wide receiver for us. Somebody will give him a contract if we don't. Let's see if he does bite. He might bite. He might bite. Someone mentioned, oh yeah, I went back to that, Rusty. I'm sorry. Go back to Dean Pease defense is making plays. Just no pass rush to really stop teams. Listen, Dean Pease pretty much told y'all early in the year that this team, he has to put us in certain situations because we don't have the talent. He didn't say that verbatim, but there was, and maybe later on this week when I do the part 2 on the Falcons Saints rivalry, I'll put it on screen. But he basically told y'all that the reason why he can't put us in certain positions, why he can't go man as much as he wants to, because those guys don't have the experience and talent to do it right now. It's not because he doesn't want to. They don't have the talent to do it. And listen, I don't blame them. You don't want to sit your guys. You don't want to put your guys out there on an island. You don't want to do that. So give them a lot of credit. Tidy says we were currently ranked 17th in takeaways. Not bad for us, all things considered. And remember, we weren't taking the ball. And it's not like one person. We don't have a Trayvon Diggs where somebody has 11 interceptions. We don't have a TJ Watt where we have 21 sacks. As a matter of fact, that's pretty bad. That's pretty good too, TJ Watt. 21 sacks. That's deep. But we have a team that eventually is, they're learning. I would really like to see one more year with Dean Pease teaching these guys going into next year and maybe being able to zero in on who we need to get. We definitely need to get a dance partner over there with AJ Terrell. If it was a shutdown, I don't know who the shutdown quarterback coming out of college is. If that was able to fall to us, that wouldn't be a bad thing. But we gotta get a pass rush. And I tell you what, those of you who were watching that Georgia-Michigan game, let me tell y'all something. That guy dog Hutchinson, man. Hutchinson is a beast. And boy, if we were able to finagle ourselves up there to the top of the draft, that would be awesome. Caller, how you doing? This is Steve in Atlanta Bird Gang and Uncle Steve's Lounge. Who we got?
Steve, what's up, my guys?
Rusty, what's going on, brother? Is it cold? Is it cold over there?
Hey, it was 76 degrees on Saturday, and we had a snowstorm yesterday morning. So
wow. That I saw that stuff moving over, and we got most of the winds of it, but the rain moved out before the cold shot through, man. But y'all able to move around and stuff, right?
Yeah. This morning was cold. I think it was in the high teens this morning. It's been in the low 30s all day, so yeah, it gets cold.
Man, y'all stay safe up there, brother. Rusty, listen, and your Cleveland idea actually sounded really good. And I'm about to put you on this charger. For some reason, the charger is coming off on here. Can you stay with me? You still there?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on one second. This charger is about to go off. Hold on one second. Let me put you right here. Okay. Can you hear me now? I think I lost him. Hold on one second, y'all. All right. There we go. Much better. Rusty, call me back, brother. My bad. Call me right back, Rusty. I got you. I got it now. Got it to where we can call me. Call me right back. Please call me right back. I got you covered. I got you covered. Call me right back, bro. But sorry about that. Let's go down here, y'all. I apologize about this. Debo interception to Breeze to ice the game in the Super Bowl. That was awesome. One of the awesome memories that we have here. Like I said again, Rusty, call me back as soon as you. There we go. There we go. Yeah, Rusty, I apologize, man. My phone was acting a fool, man. Go ahead with your comment, brother.
But yeah, that Cleveland Browns thing came about. I think it was on your live the other night, and someone I think had messaged you about it and said Cleveland would be a better idea than Pittsburgh. I forget who made the comment, but yeah, I agree with them. I just felt like you said, the Matt Ryan to Pittsburgh thing, that's ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that makes sense to anybody at all.
Right.
I mean, like you said, Pittsburgh is usually one of the smarter franchises in the league, and you think they're about to get finessed by the Falcons for 2 first-round picks?
Absolutely not. And look, remember, Pittsburgh is a franchise that really doesn't like to pay folks either. And they know if they taking that huge contract, remember, Ben only played for what, $11 million this year? So it's not like he played for a lot. Matt's contract alone, I think next year, if I'm not mistaken, his salary is a little bit elevated going into next year. Cleveland, who has a lot of talent on that team, I would almost think about trying to take one of those defensive guys off their hands as well. But they're so ready, Rusty, to get rid of Baker Mayfield. I think they'll take anything right now.
Yeah, they would. And I think, like I said to you the other day, I think the exit strategy for Matt, if I was Terry, I would draft a quarterback this year. I'm not saying it has to be in the first round. I guess we can wait for a few months to see who's projected where.
Mm-hmm.
But I would take a quarterback, before the 6th or 7th round, someone who's going to compete with Matt.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said the other day, I'd let Matt play this year. And then, he's probably not going to get hurt. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt. I don't wish injuries on anybody. But if the season's not going well, sometime mid-season, towards the end of the season, put the rookie in and see what he got.
Rusty, when we were talking a little bit earlier, somebody made the point, and I want to make sure, because listen, I have an opinion. You're usually very opinionated about this stuff. I don't feel the tanking situation. I don't. But somebody was saying, would you rather lose the game and move up a couple of slots, or would you rather beat the Saints and put them out of their misery of not making the playoffs? Now, Tidy just validated that you would only be talking about 3 or 4 slots. What's your feeling on, at the end of the year, not giving your best just to get a draft pick?
If we were talking about last year, we were so close to the number 1 pick, and we ended up at number 4. At the end of the season,
right,
I was like, if we lose these games, we could possibly slide into the 2nd seed. So last year, I would have been more on board with that thinking, not necessarily going out there and tank, because like you said, football is a contact sport. These guys aren't going to go out there and play half speed and get killed. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
right.
Not intentionally tank, but like last year, if we would have lost 2 or 3 more games, would I have been mad?
Mm-hmm.
No. I mean, we won 4. What's the difference if we win 4 too? But not with Arthur Smith and Terry taking over the franchise. Heidi says it all the time. We got to create a culture on the Falcons. There's no culture here right now. We need to create a culture, and you don't create the culture by going out there and laying down to the Saints at that and let them get in the playoffs. Hey, listen, it doesn't matter for us playoff-wise if we win the next game or not. But to be honest with you, I think this game coming up, this is our Super Bowl this year. Really, we get a chance to keep the Saints out of the playoffs. Think about that.
You said something, and I know Toddy has been banging the gong on that, and I have too. You need to worry about, as an organization, you need to worry about the fans' perspective going into 2022. Yes, we improved from 4 wins to 7 wins. That's better than going backwards. But at the same time, the performance on the field, especially during those losses, are those enough to pull the fans back in the Mercedes-Benz? Again, we start talking about creating that culture. That's why, to your point, you can't let the Saints come in here and clinch a playoff position. You win this game, I think it looks better going into next year on a high note, saying, you know what, maybe we're ready for 2022. Maybe.
Yeah, like I said, and if we were playing any other team, say if we had the Jets on Sunday, like a meaningless game. We're not making the playoffs. They're not making the playoffs. I'm always going to pull for the Falcons to win, but it's just something extra. Like when you talk about the Falcons and the Saints, I think me and you have had this conversation before.
Mm-hmm.
The NFL realizes how big of a rivalry this actually is, because when we were playing them on Thanksgiving, what was it, in 2019 and 2020?
Right. Go back 1 year. I think it was 18 and 19.
Right, 18 and 19.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen something pop up saying the NFL was going to make that a permanent Thanksgiving Day game.
That was their plan.
We came out and we went to bed so bad, I think that thought kind of went away. You know what I mean?
Yes, it did. I think they were trying to capitalize too. Remember in 2016 and 17, I think because of our successes and from what New Orleans was doing, I think people were starting to recognize that rivalry that we had, and we still had a pretty decent Drew Brees and a decent Matt Ryan leading before they signed on for those Thanksgiving games. So the thought process was not only do you get two alleged Hall of Fame quarterbacks, but you have a rivalry that can become a tradition. So we kind of screwed that up when you think about that. What, Rusty, before I let you break, what was your best Falcons Saints memory that you have?
Falcons Saints memory. Trying to think. I think one thing that sticks with me a lot, and it's not like a game-winning, it's a game-changing play. It's not like the final play of the game. I think it was, and like I said, I don't know why it sticks with me, but Deion Jones, his rookie year, that first game in New Orleans on Monday night, he picked Drew Brees off of that pick six.
Oh.
And I feel like, I don't know, and it might be an overreaction, but it feels like that play right there, it almost feels like it set, like that play / that game, it almost feels like that set the tone for that season. Like a defense full of young guys, they went out there and beat the Saints and said, you know what? Who said we got to come in and, learn the game? We're ready to compete. And I feel like Deion Jones' interception in that game, I think it set the tone for that rookie class where they just balled out after that. You know what I mean?
That's why you make so much. That's why I enjoy going back and forth with you, because you are so. Your point is so astute. That particular play, we had been getting dominated by the Saints for the last couple of years, but prior to that, we were there in New Orleans that year. And for us to pounce on them, and to your point, Drew Brees was driving. You were saying to yourself as a Falcon fan, well, same old, same old. And you saw Deion get that tip from Brian Poole, get that tip and take that back. To your point, it's almost like that may have been the start to say, well, wait a minute. These boys might be ready to play. That's a very good point. And in a moment that people probably don't think about as much. But that was a very good point, Rusty. For a guy from North Carolina, you all right. Hey, bro.
Hey, before I get off here, let me ask you one question real fast.
Talk to me, brother.
Arthur Smith doesn't seem like a guy who looks back on things. Like I know we say in the group, oh, we should have took Parsons. Arthur Smith, he's not that type of guy. He's strictly like what we have, what we have in front of us. He's not going to look back on things. But do you think, like you say it, he was sold a bag of used goods with Matt Ryan? I think he came in thinking Matt Ryan was still at a higher level, and then when he sees him in person, I think he really sees like Matt Ryan is a 37-year-old quarterback,
Right.
Do you think Arthur Smith is kicking himself slightly for not thinking about taking a quarterback last year? And because now you're 1 year in the hole. That quarterback could have been learning from Matt Ryan all season. You know what I mean? I
think every time he goes to that press conference and he makes excuses for his offense, and remember, he was brought in here to jumpstart that offense and make it better. He was here to fix whatever was going on with a veteran Matt. Matt wasn't really hurt a lot this year. Yes, the offensive line, I know that's going to be the mantra, but at the same time, to your point, he thought, well, at least I'm getting an above average used car. And he found out that we need to change basically the whole engine. And he stunted 1 year, Rusty. He's already stunted 1 year from what his game plan is, because he knows Matt Ryan is not going to be his future quarterback. He's not going to win the way he wants to win with Matt Ryan. That's yeah. So to your point, yes, I think he regrets that. I bet you when he sits in the room with Terry, and Terry's probably sitting there saying, "I'm trying to tell you behind it." You know, listen. We could have the Justin Fields argument all day, and I know folks don't want to do that, but at the same time, again, you with anything in the top 5, with all due respect to our all-pro tight end, you gotta get a game-changing type person. That has to be like an awesome defensive player or a quarterback, and we didn't do that this year. We didn't. My friend, I appreciate you as always, man. Please calm it down. Now that I got the phones back where the volume is a little bit better, so I can hook it up this weekend, and we'll talk again. Thank you, Rusty.
All right, buddy.
Appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, it's I appreciate Rusty going in, and I see y'all comments coming in. I'm coming down. Lisa says, I'm ready for us to sweep the Aints and send them home crying. Yes. Let's gut check the Aints Sunday. I'll say the F stands for forget their playoff dreams. Lisa says, about 2 years ago, Ocho Cinco tweeted about not knowing how deep the Falcons Aints rivalry went. Both fan bases had his Twitter lit for a week. I'm not sure the NFL noticed it. You know, just on a different note, Lisa, Chad Ocho Cinco is such a and he was a good wide receiver. I never looked at him as, oh my God, Chad Johnson or whatever. He was good. I think he talked more. He talked more than his game was good, in my opinion. I'm not sure if he was ever that great. He did some good things. He was a number 1 receiver. He was good, but I don't know. I think he's and stuff. Anthony, what's going on? Said beating our rival Saints on Sunday would be a great jump for 2022. Ending the season to 8-9. Anthony, it would make my day if we could finish the year 8-9 and finish up. And I didn't. I'm still not getting a couple of memories from the Saints Falcons. That's what I want to get a little bit of that tonight if I could. I know we were talking about a couple of games in there. Ease, what's going on, man? Said I like Ocho. Listen, it's not a hate for Ocho, but you know, there are certain guys that I think talk bigger than they are. I just think Ocho Cinco wanted to be Terrell Owens so bad. He wanted to be Terrell so bad, and he couldn't. And I think he wanted to get the love and the attention that Terrell Owens was getting, and I just don't think he was that guy. I still think Terrell Owens was robbed from not getting in the Hall of Fame as quick as he should have, if you ask me. How you doing there, caller? This is Steve here on Atlanta Bird Gang and Uncle Steve's Lounge. Who we got on us?
Hey, Steve. This is Lisa.
Hey, Lisa. What's going on, young lady? Happy New Year to you.
Same to you. Happy 2022.
Yes, ma'am. Right back at you. We talking a little bit Saints Falcons. Who better to get into that than our resident super fan? So tell me, and I know you have many, but try to narrow it down for me. Tell me a couple of your vintage Saints Falcons games, and it better be one we win.
Oh man, vintage! I did have one from. Well, it's not vintage, so can I still tell?
Oh, of course.
I think I sent you footage. It was the game at the bench where Debo made the red zone INT to seal the game for us. Do you remember that one?
And Lisa, I you know why I hate talking about that game, but I love that game. I had to work. It was a Thursday night game.
Right, it sure was.
And my wife and my son, who always represent, obviously, they got to go. And I'm sitting at home, and that was before streaming was, because it was 2017. Streaming was okay, right, but it wasn't like it is this year. And I remember just the stream was like 3 minutes behind. And I couldn't get that. But what was that atmosphere? Tell me the moment he caught that pass, because that's what my wife they tried to call me.
The bench erupted, and of course, you know, all Falcons fans, we hype like it was because we were nervous. Because in all honesty, had they not, you know, had Debo not gotten the INT, we probably would have lost the game.
Absolutely.
Because you know the Aints were driving. So the part of the story that I wanted to tell, though, so of course, you know, we hooping and hollering once the game is, you know, we got it under wraps. You know, I'm exiting the bench. I'm with my friend. You know, everybody's like, we that, like everybody is screaming, yelling out the bench and celebrating, right?
Right.
I'm minding my business, taking video of everybody having a good time. And next thing I know, I hear somebody say, "We're that." And I mean, again, it's thousands of people leaving the bench. I didn't really know who it was, and I was minding my business. Next thing I know, 3 old Ain't ladies rolled up on me. They were talking to me. I was like, it was like, ma'am, like, I know you're not in my bench, you know, trying to disrupt my celebration because y'all lost the game. I know that's not what we're doing right now. So she's like, we're still leading the division. We're that. And I said, congratulations. Like, and I was videoing as all of this is happening, and I was just like, you know what? Let me cut this off in case it goes left. I don't want any evidence of me cussing some old lady out. You know what I mean? So I just, you know, I was just like, they rolled up on me, and I was like, this is crazy. Like, take your L in peace. We gonna celebrate. We turning up. That was insane to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I've taken plenty of L's in New Orleans, and when we lose, I just lead a super dump and going about my business. I don't roll up on Aints fans trying to talk junk to them. You know what? I just thought that was really. I was like, y'all are crazy.
Lisa, you learned a valuable lesson that day. Never get between a Saints fan and their Metamucil. You should never do that. And I think that's what you did. You upset those ladies, and they didn't have a clear conscience that day or colon. And I think you were able to get on their nerves enough that particular game. That is crazy.
Didn't I see you the footage?
I think I do remember. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do a part 2 of this on Thursday. So if you have it, please send it to the group thing. You know what I'm talking about. Send it to the group thing so we can put it up there. Because if I can get my brother Tidy to probably join me next go round, we can share those memories together. Because I do want to talk about that too. Give me one moment, because I know you've been there too. Give me a moment in New Orleans that you remember. I need a on enemy grounds moment.
Oh God! I mean, it's such a hostile environment, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yes.
And you know, when we win, you know, Aints always talk junk. I mean, it's just the environment. You know, it's the rivalry, right?
Absolutely.
So it's always heated, and you know, because of how deep the rivalry goes, don't get me wrong. I'll talk my trash, but I really don't talk trash to Aints that I don't know, because sometimes when you mix liquor and emotions and all of that stuff, you know, it can go left if you're not with Aints that you know. So I will always just kind of just keep it cool and cute, you know, when I'm in the super dump. But when we win, you can tell they are in their feelings. Like it's you can feel it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And of course, you know, we rubbing it in when we win, right? Like listen, that's one thing about experiencing football games on the road, because when your team gets a road win and you know you got other Falcons fans, you know, in opposing stadiums, it's just a different feeling. It's, you know, it's almost like another level, because you've traveled, you know, to another stadium to rep your team and support them, and when you get a road win and then you kind of, you know, you can talk junk, you know, on the road, it's a good feeling.
The camaraderie.
You know, that's why I do try to get in at least 1 or 2 road games a year. But those Aints games, man, listen, you just gotta be ready. You gotta be ready to take it, and you definitely, you know, give it too, because they're not gonna let up. I mean, and the last time I went was in 2017 to New Orleans, and listen, I saw so many T-shirts, hats, saw that 28-3 was all over, so I was already in my feelings, you know, just because seeing them, you know, just rub in our misery.
Absolutely.
But they come with it, you know. You can just if you go to New Orleans, you just have to expect them to just kind of just be in your face. And I mean, literally from the time you get off the plane. I get booed. Like, if you wear Falcons, you're going to get booed. You know, at the hotel, they don't want to help you with your luggage. It's just the whole thing. It's a complete experience.
It's a, if I can explain it, but it's a loving hatred of our opponents, because they want, the majority of them, if they're not full of alcohol,
right.
they get it. They get it. You know, it's a fun little back and forth, but to your point, it can get real ugly. As I said before, we'll be back on here Thursday. I hope you call me in again on Thursday and share that video with me. I might put that up there on the screen for us, okay? Thanks, Lisa. Take care now.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, Lisa is one of the super fans, y'all. I mean, she's if you're talking about a fan, that's one for you. I'm getting back down here to this comment. Said E said Ocho didn't like his contract. That's why he worked on footwork, routes, and releases so hard. He didn't like contact. I'm sorry, didn't like contract. Didn't like his contact. Didn't like contact. I can believe that. He was a slight dude, man. He was a slight dude. David says the 1992 playoffs for me went into New Orleans and beat them. Weren't supposed to. That was the coming off of the 19. It was the 1991 season. But it was in January when we won that game, and then we got destroyed by the eventual Super Bowl champs, Washington, at that time. And y'all heard Washington's new nickname coming out February 2nd. Toddy says, curveball question, Steve. Your thoughts on the AB situation? Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm gonna come back to that 1 second. I'm gonna get back on here. E says T.O. definitely on the first ballot. And Anthony says, my favorite Falcons Saints game was 2012 on a Thursday night. We had 5 interceptions. Corey Peter had a 6th interception that got called back. I do remember that game. We won 24-13. That was the game that actually, I'm trying to think, are you giving them too much credit? Because I don't. Did they score a touchdown that game? Or was it 20? Hold on. Let me see what you say the score was. 24. It might have been 23-13. Maybe that's what it was, 23-13. But I do remember that game that, they called back the touchdown. I mean, the interception that Corey Peters had. Matter of fact, Sean Witherspoon got 1. Who was the safety? William Moore got 2. I got to remember what the other one. But I know William Moore got the game-saving one when he went all the way across the field and caught the ball going out. Tidy says, your thoughts on the Antonio Brown situation. Okay, here's my thought on Antonio Brown. I kind of figured eventually it would probably not end up very good for him. And Antonio Brown is very lucky that Tom Brady was on that Tampa Bay team. There was not another team. As a matter of fact, I think everybody else in the NFL was done. But if there was one player who could talk his coach into bringing in Antonio Brown, and I'm pretty sure Tom Brady, and I say I haven't heard this, haven't whatever, but I bet you he vouched for him and said, look, coach, I got him. He comes in here, I got him. Now, I'm hearing all the talk and the hearsay about escalators and stuff like that, what he would have gotten if he got 5 more catches, 50 yards, whatever it was, where he got all those, where he would have got basically $1 million for doing that. And I get that. But the timing to me for you to throw that tantrum was very interesting. If the numbers were what they say they were, those were numbers you probably could have picked up next week. And we're talking about at the time in the game, and if I'm not mistaken, and somebody remind me, was that the third quarter? So it's not like he didn't have all his opportunities. Now, there was also some stuff where they were talking about he might have been hurt. For those of you who were talking about that, I don't think he was hurt because he was the way he took off his shirt. There was one point that not that I was trying to look to be gross, but there was one point that I was looking where he looked like he was trying to fix his pants, and I was saying, going back to Dre where he was talking about the "you want a man" thing. There was one point where he started messing with his pants, and I said to myself, Lord, please say you're not getting ready to take off your pants on this field. But with Antonio Brown, we just don't know. So when I was hearing people talk earlier about comparing Ridley's situation to Antonio Brown's situation, I think you're talking about two different things. One, because Ridley hasn't had anything off the field before and all of that. So, you go by your track record. Am I going to believe somebody whose track record doesn't give me anything in the background? Or am I going to believe somebody who has been spotty for the last few years? And I still go back, in my opinion, I go back to that perfect hit. I never heard a peep from Antonio Brown before that. As far as off the field and all the shenanigans and all that stuff, I never heard a peep from him before that. And then all of a sudden, after that hit in the next couple of years, the drama with Mike Tomlin, the video in the locker room, the short stint with the Raiders, the stint in New England, and it is almost like Tom Brady's like, fool me twice. So I think it was a little bit expected to me, folks. I'm sorry. And my sympathy level, I am probably a little seasoned in my thinking sometimes. And I know a lot of people go to conspiracy theory and all of that stuff, which is fine because, if you don't know the total truth, they leave it for other people to make up and people start talking. Because you hear the story where he said Tom Brady went to him and told him, hey, I'm going to get you your catches and stuff like that. And Antonio Brown told him, look like your boy getting your catches, and Tom Brady dissed him and all of that. I don't know. I don't know. Sounds pretty thorough, but I don't know. But I think it was expected. I think it was. Listen, they got what they wanted because Antonio Brown was balling last year in the playoffs. He absolutely balled. Matter of fact, dare I say, I think they wouldn't have won the game. I think was it the New Orleans game where he caught 2 or 3? I know he caught one in the Super Bowl too, right? But I just don't. I just don't trust that cat. So none of this shocks me that he went through all of that. None of this at all. So to answer your question. I say I was also at that game talking about the New Orleans game. Lisa's correct. The crowd was bananas. I missed the days of us having that great crowd. And think about that though, Tidy. That was the 2017 season. So that's why I hate that I wasn't at that game because it sounds like, and I've been at the majority of the game sans last year that we went to. That sounds like that might have been the most hype moment in the dome. I know that first game against Green Bay was pretty electric as well. But I don't know. I think that might have been the thing on there too. He says, okay, I inboxed you the video footage from the game. Okay, I thank you, young lady. I appreciate. We're gonna put that on hopefully Thursday, and we'll I'll put that on my B Live because on the B Live you can show the screen of the videos and stuff. StreamYard, they let you share, but you can. It's easier to do on B Live, and I'll put that on there hopefully on Thursday. E said it was in the third quarter with the AB tantrum and whatever, the latest meme to hit the media. That was something else, man. That was a moment. I swear, go back and look at that video when he goes down and start fixing it, I said, is he about to take off his pants out? But thank God he didn't. Anthony says Thomas Deku. That's right. I forgot he got one too. William Moore got 2, Witherspoon, and Babineau. That's what it was. Yeah, 23-13. And I don't know why I'm a stickler like that, Anthony. When you said 24-13, for some reason I was like, whatever. But again, we won, so who cares? So yeah, but you're right. That game against Breeze, and the Breeze wins are so great. It's a game that gets lost in the shuffle a lot. The game that it was in New Orleans, and I remember this because for some reason I was at a church function late that night, and I had a friend of mine who's a big New Orleans fan. It was the game that it was coming off New Orleans Super Bowl, the year they won, and they came down the field. We took it to overtime. They marched all the way down the field, got inside like the 5-yard line, and the guy yanked the extra point and missed the extra point, and we drove all the way back on their side of the field and won the game. Like I said, that was the year after they won the Super Bowl, and we came back and beat them because I think it took a last-second touchdown to get us to overtime, if I'm not mistaken. But then they got overtime, drove right down the field. You were like, oh, no, Saints lost. I mean, Saints win. And homeboy missed like a 24-yard field goal or something like that. Lost the game. Atlanta drove right back down, won the game, beat them in New Orleans. Just a great win because I remember my buddy was sitting there going crazy at that. I appreciate the memories, man. We'll do it again. Obviously, we have this is a big game, y'all. It's the last game of the year. You want to end the year on a good note. 8 wins is much better than 4, and 8 wins definitely is much better than 7. To put New Orleans out of their misery would be great, and I think that's what you try to do to your rival team. You don't want your rival team to get anything over you. So let's see if we can go out and do this. We'll catch up with y'all again on Thursday where I'll be in the other room, and we'll be able to share the video that Lisa was talking about and share that with you guys on that day as we get ready for rivalry game against New Orleans Saints. And remember, y'all, that game is at 4:25. They moved it from 1 o'clock to 4:25. So it's going to be an afternoon game this Sunday at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Till then, y'all have a great night. Have a great Tuesday, and we'll catch y'all later. Y'all stay warm. Kind of chilly out there. Y'all stay warm. Be good. Peace.